going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Tim Burton's Batman 89. I love this movie. I mean, this movie is so iconic. I love it. I love it for all its cheesiness, but you have to remember, like, at that time in 89, like, this was considered a really dark superhero movie. And not only that, it was a superhero movie that was taken seriously. It wasn't the Batman 66 that most people identified Batman with. Like, this was the first attempt to make a big budget Batman with some earnestness behind it and some seriousness and some darkness. And Tim Burton at that time was the perfect director to really showcase the dark, brooding Batman. And I love Michael Keaton's Batman. To me, Michael Keaton is my second favorite Batman, just behind Ben Affleck. I think what Michael Keaton did was capture the dark, brooding, and just how psychotic Batman is as a character. Like, he hardly spoke. He was always kept in shadows. And I just love the vibe that Michael Keaton brought to Batman, because he understands the character. He understood what it took to be Batman, and he understood the psychology behind Batman. Like, this is not a normal man. So Michael Keaton did a fantastic job of showcasing just how psychologically damaged this character is and Batman is. So to me, Tim Burton and Michael Keaton absolutely nailed the vibe, the aesthetic of Gotham City. I loved Tim Burton's Gotham City. I loved Tim Burton's Batman. To me, it's still the most iconic Batmobile of all the films, bar none, hands down. Like, not even up, it's not even open for debate. It's the best Batmobile, and what Michael Keaton and Tim Burton did was just they nailed the character, especially at that time. Like to this day, it still holds up. It's still worthy of being part of the Batman franchise, the Batman mythos. So they did a fantastic job. So here it is, my number 9.
Say my name.
Billy!
No, not my name. No, say the name that I say to turn into this guy.
Shazam!
I love this movie. This movie's awesome. I don't get the hate for it. I don't understand why people, like the hardcore DC fans, are like, oh, well, Shazam, nah, this movie sucks, blah, blah, blah. No. This movie's fun. It's what it's supposed to be. Just a good time at the theaters. And David F. Sandberg, who comes from a horror background, like I think one of his first movies was the Annabelle movie, from the Conjuring spinoff. Like, he did that. And then he jumped over to Shazam, and I'm like, okay, that's unusual for like a horror director to make like a family-friendly film. But when you watch it, it absolutely makes sense, especially with that boardroom scene where all the demons came in and just tore everybody apart. Like, that was awesome. That was dark. That was like whoa. Like, you wouldn't expect that from a kids movie. But this scene was so cool. Like, I actually got chills like watching it in theaters, because I'm not a huge Shazam fan. But, I like the character. Like, he's pretty cool. And when I saw this moment in theaters, I was just like, damn, like, this was cool. Like, I actually, like I said, I got goosebumps watching it, because you're watching the Shazam family on screen. Like that's something you thought you would never see. And it actually, like, happens. Like, you actually see it on screen. And when it happens, you're like, wow, this is, it's fun. It's cool. It's exciting. And fun fact, I think his name was Adam Brody. Adam Brody, who plays Freddy with the sticks, the crutches. I said the sticks with the crutches. He actually was Barry Allen in the Flash movie by George Miller, the canceled Justice League Mortal. I think it was Justice League Mortal back in 2007, 2008, and he was handpicked to be Barry Allen. So it was nice to see Adam Brody come back in the DC world, just playing, Freddy, which he absolutely nailed. Freddy, like the grown up and the kid, like those actors, like the way they acted, it matched up so perfectly, and they were always in sync. Like, I would say even more so than Asher Angel and Zachary Levi. I thought those were two completely different people it just didn't really work. But Zachary Levi is fantastic, and again, like seeing the Shazam family was awesome. So kudos to them. So now my number 8. It's funny because this was the best part of the entire freaking movie, and this was the most action that you would ever get in, in this movie, like, which sucks, and it's unfortunate because this was awesome. Like this whole scene of Superman, rescuing the passengers and rescuing the plane, like that's so Superman, but it just never, but the rest of the movie just never lived up to this moment, which is a shame because, like, again, like this whole moment of seeing Brandon Routh, of seeing Superman like for the first time for over 30 years, because I think the last Superman film was back in 1987 and this film came out 2006. So it was awesome seeing Superman again for the first time on the big screen. I actually saw this in the movie theaters too on IMAX, and I was just amazed watching the scene. But again, unfortunately, the rest of the movie didn't live up to this scene, which is so frustrating because I don't understand why it didn't. Because again, I thought Bryan Singer, who did the X-Men franchise, X-Men 1, 2, and he did Days of Future Past, and he did Apocalypse, and Apocalypse was utter trash. But those X-Men films that I mentioned, like those were awesome. Like that was awesome. And you would think, like, okay, well, Bryan Singer is gonna do the Superman franchise, and he's gonna resurrect this franchise, and he's gonna like make one of the most epic Superman films of all time. And when it didn't happen, it was just really disappointing. It was disappointing for the fans. It was disappointing for the actors. But thankfully, Brandon Routh came back on a Crisis on Infinite Earths and basically like redeemed himself to be Superman again. And now everyone is like clamoring for him to come back and wanting him to come back. So hopefully, he comes back for like a HBO Max thing, like in a Kingdom Come type show. That would be amazing. But this scene in Superman Returns it's the best scene in the entire movie, like hands down, like because it's that good. But I wish the whole movie was this good because it was just classic Superman, and I loved it. Like the physics, the visual effects, it still holds up to this day. And Brandon Routh just absolutely captured the essence of Christopher Reeve and Superman. The costume was fine, but again, like barring all that, the scene was just so handled exceptionally well. I loved it. It's almost a perfect scene in a bad movie, which basically sums up Superman Returns. a bad scene, like a great scene in a bad movie, not a bad movie, just a mediocre movie. But overall, like I said, everyone did a fairly good job. I think Brandon Routh was the shining beacon in this movie. Kate Bosworth wasn't my favorite Lois Lane. Kevin Spacey, he was fine as Lex Luthor, but again, I think the film just was too much. I think it was too overshadowed by the legacy of Christopher Reeve and those Richard Donner films, which Bryan Singer was trying to emulate, but it just didn't work fully. But you can't hit on that plane scene though, because that plane scene absolutely made up for the entire 2.5 hour movie that came after. But again, I would put that scene. It's in my top 5, top 10 for sure. So anyway, number 7.
Excuse me.
That's a bad outfit.
Speaking of Richard Donner, and speaking of an iconic superhero film, I just did a review of this film. So if you would be so kind, make sure you check it out and, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And what can I say about this film that hasn't already been said already? It's classic. It's iconic. It's what really brought the superhero genre to the mainstream and brought some dignity to it, brought some respect to it. Because remember, like, this is 1978, so before, like superhero movies like weren't really around that much. Like you had like the Superman shows with George Reeves, but it wasn't really taken seriously as like, as a film until, Richard Donner came in and just completely just blew everyone away at that time. And the tagline, of course, was, you'll believe a man can fly. And absolutely everyone did. Like everyone believed it. Everyone was so good in this movie. Unfortunately, the two main actors, passed away with Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder. But those two were just, they're iconic. Like they're part of film history. Like Christopher Reeves is Superman. He's just Superman. Like we see him and we recognize him as Superman, and we recognize Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, and that's how much of a powerhouse performance they gave to these roles, because it's part of the lexicon. It's part of American history. Like when you think of Christopher Reeves, you think of Superman, and that's thanks to Richard Donner absolutely taking the source material seriously. It's like, look, I don't want to make a cheesy Superman movie. If we're gonna do this, then we have to do it right, and we have to show respect to the source material, and we have to treat this as if this was any other film that that was gonna like win an Oscar or something. And I believe it did, like maybe for special effects. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean this movie is iconic. Christopher Reeves just did an amazing job. He's part of American history. We all love him. We all worship him as Superman. He's still my Superman to a lot, and many to a lot of people. So kudos to Richard Donner for really crafting something unique and something special that we still talk about to this day. Like this movie's like almost 40 years old, and we still remember it as like the crowning achievement for superhero films in general. And again, like you have to give kudos to that. So here is my number 6.
Who's your tailor?
I took the liberty, sir.
What's that stand for?
Robin. Riddler and Two-Face can make a pretty lethal combination. Figured you could use a hand.
2 against 2 are better odds.
I can't promise I won't kill Harvey.
A man's gotta go his own way. A friend taught me that.
Not just a friend.
A partner.
R.I.P. Joel Schumacher, bro. Oh, I love this movie. I love this movie as a kid. I remember watching this movie when I was like 7 or 8 in theaters, and I'm watching it. And I'm just like, damn, yo. And this was like my first Batman movie ever. And I'm watching this movie. I'm just like, oh my god, this literally is the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Of course, I was like 8 or 9, so my frame of reference for movies weren't a lot. So, but watching this movie, it really cemented my love for Batman and who Batman is as a character, and especially like Robin. Like this scene, like watching Batman and Robin together in live action, and I'm coming from the Batman animated series. So watching this in live action and just watching these two characters who I love like come together and form a bond and form a friendship, I'm just like, bro, like I was blown away by it. Like it's like still to this day, it's one of my favorite Batman scenes of all time. And and shout out to Joel Schumacher, rest in peace, who did a phenomenal job with Batman Forever. And I loved Val Kilmer's performance. I might do a video on Val Kilmer's Batman because I think he's severely underappreciated and severely underrated. So I think I might do a video on that because I thought he was a fantastic Bruce Wayne, and I thought he was a great Batman. And Chris O'Donnell was Robin too. Like he doesn't get enough praise for it, but he was fantastic. He was awesome. He was perfect casting, especially at that time. And Joel Schumacher just did. He just brought so much. He just brought so much love and care to the project, and he loved Batman as a kid, and he loved the character, and you could tell like it's Joel Schumacher's Batman, like with the neon lights, and it's just a fun time all around. So shout out to that movie. But here's my number 5. Aquaman, my man. Love this movie. Oh, absolutely love it. This movie is awesome. I mean, I did a whole video on this on Aquaman, and I mean, it's just bananas. It's just bonkers. And this, like, again, I saw this in theaters. I saw this in IMAX too, which was like phenomenal too. I'm just like, oh my god, like this is amazing. Like this is everything, and everything I wanted to see in an Aquaman film, and it came true. Like James Wan is so crazy. Like this whole third act, like I said, it's nuts. Like you see Aquaman riding a kraken. Like what? Like you're not supposed to see it. Like this whole third act is not supposed to work. This whole movie is not supposed to work, but it does because James Wan is one talented mofo, and and seeing this shot right here. Oh my god, bro! I was like, oh, especially like I was like at this time I was really into like DC and reading comic book and stuff like that, and reading Aquaman, the New 52 Aquaman, which is an amazing run. So like watching this, I was like getting like New 52 vibes. I was like, I love the costume. Like Jason Momoa absolutely rocked it. Like he's so good as Arthur Curry, and just watching this whole scene like on IMAX, I was just like, what is going on, bro? Again, it's the most grand scale superhero movie I think I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. Just and the fact that it's underwater, amazing, bro. Just absolutely amazing. But here is my number 4. Joker is so good, bro. I love this movie. Like this movie's awesome. Like I love how dark it is. I love how twisted it is. And of course, you know, Joaquin Phoenix gave. I mean, he won an Oscar for this performance, so it just goes to show you how great he is as Joker. And it's funny because everyone had like Joaquin Phoenix on their fan wish list to be the Joker, like whether for like Ben Affleck or Matt Reeves's or Batman movie. Like everyone wants Joaquin Phoenix to come back because he's so good in the role, and he's just Joker. Like he completely embodied like who the Joker is, just his chaotic nature and his psychosis, and the fact that they deal with, you know, mental illness. It just like it just made sense for the character, because the character is obviously, you know, just like severely broken. Like he's one of the most broken human beings ever, and the fact that, you know, Todd Phillips managed to make us sympathetic for the character in a like a little bit. I think it also helped, you know, identify with Joker and who he is as a person and stuff like that. So, and I know it's not like entirely comic accurate, but again, it doesn't matter, because if you can tell a story that's well told, and the direction is on par with the story, and the performance, what he does with the Joker role is absolutely phenomenal. It's so good. I fucking hate this airplane, by the way. Jesus Christ. But Joaquin Phoenix is so good in the role. It's almost iconic, right? You get what you fucking deserve. Oh, it's one of the classic lines of all time. I love it. It's so good. And again, Joker is one of my favorite DC movies of all time. I love it. It's cool. It's twisted. It's dark. It's the way it should be. Rated R. If you're telling a Joker movie, it should be dark. It should be scary. It should scare people. And it should also make people think like, oh. And we don't really get a resolution of who the character is. Like, is he Arthur Curry? Is that his real name? Arthur Curry. Like, Arthur, he's Aquaman. Arthur Fleck? Is that his real name? Like, we don't really get a full closure or an understanding of who the character is. And that's what makes this movie so brilliant. And that's what Todd Phillips gets. Like, we're not supposed to fully understand who the Joker is, and we're always supposed to question whether he's telling the truth or not. And that's who the Joker is. And amazing job. So here's my number 3. Nightmare Batman, baby. Oh, I love this scene. Like, this scene was awesome. Like, this scene's awesome. It's awesome. It's like this one take shot of Batman, this unbreakable, unstoppable Batman. Like this solidified Ben Affleck as like one of the best Batmans ever because he's just like taking out an entire army, an entire squad by himself. And it's so cool to see, and the fact that Zack Snyder threw in the parademons, it's so chaotic on what's going around all around him, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And the fact that Zack Snyder just puts you in the scene without any warning, it just happens. It's just like it just comes out of nowhere, and when it does, it hits you, and you're not expecting it, and that's what makes this scene so good and so brilliant. I love it. Again, it gives you that injustice vibe to it, which I love because I love the Injustice books and the fact that we have an evil Superman who is succumbed to the anti-life equation, which is like awesome, by the way. It's so nerdy. Like it's so now I know the general audience has no idea, has no like what was going on, but again, if you're like a hardcore fan of this and you know what's going on, it just makes this scene even better for you because you're like, oh my God, he's under the mind control of Darkseid, and Darkseid, and we're always like wondering, like, is Darkseid is he in the scene? Are we gonna see him? It's so cool, and the fact that just seeing an evil version of Superman, like we've never really seen that. And the fact that he like lasers those guys and he kills Batman in this timeline. So in this nightmare timeline, he kills Batman. Like Batman's dead, which is like crazy. It's crazy that Zack Snyder had Superman kill Batman in this movie. That's like, which is insane. Like Batman v Superman. No. Batman's dead. And I love that Zack Snyder is like, listen, my Superman kills Batman. Like Superman, my Superman is the strongest. Like I love Batman. Batman's cool and all, but don't mess with Superman. And I love that Zack Snyder injected that into that film just to let like the hardcore Batman fans know, like, listen, Superman is number one. And I love that. It's a nice little detail that Zack Snyder put in that a lot of fans didn't catch the first time around. But I love it. Of course he's real. Nightmare Part 2 in Justice League is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so dope. And this was definitely one of my favorite scenes in BVS. It's just epic and it's dark. Everything that I want in a dark comic graphic novel. So there you go. So here is my number 2. Wonder Woman. I love this scene. This scene's awesome. I love Wonder Woman. Yeah, I mean, this scene, I mean, what can I say? It's awesome. It's the first introduction to Wonder Woman on the big screen, and it's done so well. And the way Patty Jenkins films it gives it that importance to the character and what the character stands for and who the character is. And it's so cool to see. And the fact that we see Wonder Woman just kicking ass and just taking on the Nazis in World War One. And I love how the film is all washed out in gray, but not Wonder Woman. Like she's coming in with those bright colors as to signify like, hey, she's here for truth, she's here for justice, and she's here for hope, and she's gonna protect you guys, and I love it. It's just a nice little visual motif that Patty puts in that a lot of people wouldn't notice, but me, I just noticed it. I was like, oh my God, like this is so amazing, and I love it. Like it's so good. I love this. I love this movie. It's awesome. It's fantastic. And it's just a great movie. So without further ado, here is my number 1. Man of Steel. Of course, it's number 1. I feel like Man of Steel will always be like my number 1, like on every single list. And to me, like watching this movie for the first time back in 2013, I watched it in a movie theater and I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, okay, it's a Superman movie. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be great? Because I was like burned by Superman Returns. So I really didn't know what to expect with this movie. But watching this movie and watching this scene for the first time, the first flight scene, I was just completely amazed at watching this. Like I got goosebumps watching it. It's a powerful scene. and it's a welcome change to like really showcase the like this grand introduction to Superman. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like finally since like the Richard Donner era, a director took Superman seriously on film. Like it wasn't cheesy. They didn't ham it up a bit. It wasn't cartoonish. It was just like, look, this is Superman, and let's give him this epic introduction. Let's give him this epic grand scale of a movie on a high budget, and let's take it seriously for the modern audience. Like let's introduce this character as if he never existed, and this is the first time that we're seeing a Superman film. And when you look at it in that lens, it just works so beautifully, and everything about this movie is fantastic. The acting, the cinematography is absolutely stunning and breathtaking. The special effects still holds up. It's still the best special effects I think I've ever seen in a superhero movie, and this is like back in 2013, so it's like not too long ago, but still like it's funny because like the special effects in this movie look better than anything out in 2020 and 2021. Like it's just amazing. So I can only imagine what Zack Snyder's Justice League is gonna look like. So it's so good. It's everything that I've ever wanted in a Superman movie. It's complex. It has really rich philosophical ideas to really like talk about the cinematography, the action, the performances. It's the Superman movie that we've always wanted to see, and Zack Snyder gave it to us. I can only imagine what he's gonna do in 2021. Jesus Christ, oh my God, this airplane's annoying me. Never mind that. But yeah, I mean, everything about this movie is just fantastic. I love it. It's so cool. And again, it's my number one. It's my number one DC film of all time. It's Man of Steel. So hopefully, with Zack Snyder's Justice League coming out next year, will it knock out Man of Steel for my number one slot? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But for right now, like Man of Steel it's the best Superman movie. It's the best DC movie, and I think it's Zack Snyder's finest work that he's ever done. So it's so amazing. So I can't wait to see what other DC movies are going to come up in the near future, because we all know that we got Suicide Squad, we got Zack Snyder's Justice League, we have Black Adam, we have Shazam 2, we have The Flash. We have so many great DC movies. So, it'll be fun to make another DC movie scene ranking, or another DC movie ranking to see. And I'm sure that's going to take like 20 hours. That's going to be like a 5-hour video of me just be like, oh yeah, Batman's number one. Zack Snyder, no, Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be number one. So I'm sure it'll be a fun time ranking that up, because, it's DC, and I love DC, and I want DC to do well, and DC is killing it so far, and they're doing so well. It's a great time to be a DC fan for sure. And again, it's great to see, the fans getting what they want, because we've been through so much. We've gotten so much crap, and to see now that we're actually winning and we're on top, and we're seeing like the DC movies that we've always wanted to see. It's cool to see. It's great to see. But anyway, that is my ranking, and that is it, my beautiful DC brothers and sisters. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. Let's continue having a DC conversation. What do you think about my list? Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? What do you think I should have put there? What do you think I should have taken out? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I will premiere this video later on tonight, and hopefully we can discuss it, and we could just chit chat the nerd stuff and see what you think of my ranking. And maybe I missed the movie that you thought I should have put in there. Maybe there is a movie that I should have taken out and should have replaced it with something else. It's always great to to speak with you guys and to chat with you guys on this whole DC stuff, because I'm a nerd. We're all nerds. We all love DC, and we all want DC to succeed, and we all want DC to be successful, so we can get more of this stuff. And hopefully we will get more Zack Snyder Justice League. Hopefully we will get more DC movies, and we will get everything that we want. And I think we will. I think, like I said, it's a great time to be a DC fan, and it's no better time to be a DC fan than now, because everything that we're getting it's just everything that we want. So it's amazing. It's amazing. So make sure to hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. Let me know what reactions you want me to do, what are the videos you want me to do, what other videos you think I might be interested in to talk about. Let me know and all that good stuff. And as always, love you all. Be safe and truth out.